Folks, before this video starts, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who asked me the following questions in the Q&A. A lot of people do Q&As and they do a lot of editing, but I always thought it's always better to make it as real and raw as possible. So the next 20 minutes, I actually don't even know how many minutes yet because I haven't finished editing. Hope it's not too long, but this is who I am. This is all my opinions and all my research, and this is exactly what I think of all the topics that all you viewers ask me, and all I want to do is just help everyone as best I can. If you've learned anything, then hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and also write a comment if you thought this video was informative and you've learned something from it. If you haven't learned anything and you don't agree with anything I said, then also write something too, because I love a good debate, as I've shown in other Snapchats and other social medias. So hope you enjoy it. Alright folks, what is up? Rice Lifestyle back with another video, and this time it's basically my first ever Q&A. I always look through all the most famous YouTubers and they've always done a Q&A in the videos, and I was terrified putting up the question of asking people to ask me questions last night, and I'm delighted that I actually am able to make a Q&A. So what I'm going to do is I have 30 questions here. Picked 30 questions last night. I screenshotted the questions on Snapchat. If you don't follow me on Snapchat, then it'll be on the screen, okay? So I'm going to give my buddy Keith here, he's sitting beside me, he's going to ask me a couple of questions. Now, first thing you should notice here, I have not looked at these questions at all from last night. I've screenshotting them. I just want to answer them completely off the top of my head. I haven't done any research. It's just basically my opinion. If you don't agree with any of my opinions, then write under below and we'll definitely have a little debate about it. So I'm going to kick off this this question, okay? I'll put the questions down below if you can't hear them, okay? Let's go.
Okay, so advice for a teenager thinking of starting at the gym and what they should be eating.
Right, first of all, the most important thing whenever you're starting the gym is make sure you're eating enough. As a teenager, you wouldn't realise how many calories you actually have to get into your system. For me, when I was younger, I was trying to get in a lot of meals. I was trying to make sure I was eating enough of the right foods. Obviously, as a teenager, you're going to have the lifestyle, you're not going to be eating perfect. I don't want to tell anybody to be eating this, eating that, but I just want to make sure that everyone's eating enough. And advice starting the gym, have a program. So have a program before you go in, know exactly what weights you're going to be lifting, exactly what exercises, how many reps. Pick a strength program, endurance program, whatever suits you and your goals. Everybody's different. So get in, put the earphones in and get the weights wrapped out, and just try and keep an eye on your foods. And the worst thing you can do as a teenager is not eat enough. That's the most important thing.
Thoughts on microwavable rice?
Microwavable rice, yeah, there's no problem microwavable rice. Obviously I've talked about brown rice and slow release energy. I eat microwavable rice nearly every day. It's more convenient for me. I stick in the microwave for 2 minutes and it's ready. Obviously with a bit more time I'd try to get brown rice in, but I'll probably put the two nutrition facts on the screen here between the cooking rice and microwavable rice. There's no difference. There's a slight difference maybe in the fat, probably a bit more saturated fat in the microwavable rice, but realistically if it fits your macros and it fits your daily intake, then there shouldn't be a problem.
Alright, so what's your view on rest days?
Rest days, right, rest days can be a little bit complicated, but I try to keep it as simple as possible. What I do is basically rest days are revolved around your split. So for example, if you do the split I do, which is for 6 days a week and one rest day, that rest day is very important for me because I basically couldn't go every single day of the week because my body would basically cave in and it would burn out. So that's why it's very important where I do my legs, stomach, chest, back and shoulders, arms and rest, and then do it again, or I can do 6 days in a row and rest. Most bodybuilders and most people that take nutrition and diet and weightlifting very serious, they always have a rest day. I don't know too many, but if you're someone that can get to the gym 4 times a week and you can do upper lower in 4 days and then just rest for the 3 days and back at it, then there's no problem. Like, rest days is basically all up to you.
Alright, so a bit of a specific question here. I'm just gone 17 and I've torn the cartilage in both my knees and I've had surgery on one knee. Do you think leg exercises like squats with weights and using machines to straighten legs would put pressure on my knees?
Right. First thing after a bad injury you should always do is don't go straight back into the weights. I'm not a physio, I'm not qualified to be a physio, so the first thing you have to do is see your physio and go through the process of strengthening up the damage you done. So we said it was the knees. Surgery on one knee, he tore. Okay, well, most important thing when you go back to the gym after, let's say, months and months, it's the same as a lot of people doing their ACL. They never go back and lift the same weights as they were previously from doing the injury, because obviously your knee isn't as strong as it was prior to the injury. So sort out your physio, sort out the process, go back to the gym. Most important thing there is when you're doing squats, make sure your form is completely decent, 90% to what it should be. Obviously don't have your knees coming in together, because that's the worst thing you can do for injury and in general. So make sure the process is okay, come back, don't be lifting the same weights as you were beforehand, and make sure you are also building up your form the way it should be.
What exercises do you do to get faster for GAA?
And this is actually something that I'm trying to do at the minute. I'm sorting out a program for myself and other people regarding speed work. In GAA it's kind of different, because you do a lot of sprinting depending on where you're playing on the pitch. If you're obviously a corner forward, you're making short bursts, making a run for the ball. But if you're a half back, maybe you're a cornerback that attacks, they might be doing longer distance sprinting, something like that, and midfielders the same. So what I would do is pick a program that suits you and your position. Obviously if you're a nippy corner forward, you're going to be doing shuttle runs, you're going to be doing agility work, basically where you are starting at one cone and you're jogging out to another cone, and a manager or another player tells you to touch the blue, yellow, white cone, little short bursts. So it basically depends on the position you play in. If you just basically want to look at getting faster, you can start off at the end line and basically sprint to the 21 and then walk back, do that 5 times, then 4 times sprint to the halfway line and then walk back as you rest, and then 3 times go a bit further, once go a bit further to the other end line. I'm doing a program on it, so watch this space. I will put it up for any young people looking to get faster. The fastest players in Ireland are always usually very, very good with their lower body regarding box jumps, explosiveness, squats, deadlifts. Obviously watch Donald Sullivan there, he's probably one of the fastest, him, Jack and Caffrey. I'm sure they've got a pretty good core and lower body.
Okay, so any advice for someone who can only get to the gym once or twice or 3 times a week at best? Or should they do full body workouts?
If I could only get to the gym 3 days a week, I would do a lower split, lower body, upper body, and basically pick one or the other, what you're weakest at. So obviously the weaker you are, if I'm really weak at my upper body, I'm going to do that more so my legs, and vice versa. If I'm weak in my lower body, if a bad squat, I'm going to do that more so. So 3 times a week I do maybe 2 upper, 1 lower, or the other way about, depending on your goals and what you're weak at.
So would you advise heavy and low reps, 6 to 8, or not too heavy and 12 to 15 reps?
Same again, your goal. If you're someone that wants to literally build a lot of muscle and you're someone that's pretty light for your age or your height, then you would obviously be looking at doing lifting heavy for 6 to 8. There's no point lifting benching 80 kg for 6 to 8 and then trying to do the same for 12 to 15. It doesn't work. But if you're someone that's an endurance athlete, preferably if you're like a gymnast, swimmer, all these things, they're obviously going to be looking for athletic body, so they're going to be doing endurance stuff so they can go for longer. So it all depends on your goals. If you're looking to build muscle, be a bodybuilder, be a weightlifter, powerhouse, whatever, obviously you're going to do low reps, high weight, and then just twist it around if you want to be more in endurance. So it's all about your goals.
So would you say the endurance would suit for GAA?
For GAA, you probably meet in the middle and usually go for 8 to 10. That's the way I would. Depends on the off season. Obviously in the off season you'd be looking to build strength, and then maybe in season during championship games, I would always try to keep the gym in your workouts, in your program for the week, even during the summer, and hit maybe an endurance. But then the off season, like over Christmas time, you might want to bulk on, put a bit of weight, add a bit of power into your game, and just basically keep it low, keep the left low.
Fair enough. So is it better to get to be getting your proteins and carbs from the same source daily, e.g. chicken and brown rice, or would it be better to mix it up?
It doesn't really matter if you eat 2 chicken fillets for dinner for 4 years, you're still getting 65 grams of protein in your system. At the end of the day, it really comes down to what your protein intake is. You can get that from tuna, chicken, protein powder, it doesn't really matter. Obviously it's probably a little bit better to get from whole foods, but realistically it's all about what your total intake for the protein is. I've talked before that you always want to go for 1 pound of body weight. 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 160 pounds, then you want to get 160 grams in around then. So it doesn't really matter where you get it from as long as you get it in.
Right, so this viewer is looking for your opinion on intermittent fasting. Should I cycle calories or keep same each day and cycle carbs? And they are currently in a deficit and are wondering, is it possible to build muscle while in a deficit?
First of all, regarding the build muscle in a deficit, can you build muscle and lose fat at the same time? If you type this into Google and YouTube, it's probably the most debated. In my opinion, starting off, beginners can definitely, let's say you are someone that's got 25% body fat, you're a little bit overweight, and you're the first time lifting weights. Obviously you're going to build muscle because your body hasn't experienced this before, having resistance on the body, and you're going to be losing weight because you're obviously burning a lot of calories. So it is possible, but as time goes on, if you're someone who's been lifting for maybe 8 or 9 years, it's virtually nearly impossible for someone to build muscle and lose fat at the same time, because they won't have as much energy in the gym to build the muscle required. Obviously muscle comes from like calorie surplus most of the time, and intermittent fasting is just an easier way to keep your calories in. So for example, I wouldn't eat till 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the day, and I just have a shorter period of time to eat between 2 to 10 so I can have bigger meals. That's really what is really convenient for someone that's trying to lose weight. And what was the other question in the middle of it?
In the middle of it, keep the same each. Should I cycle calories or keep the same each day and cycle carbs?
Cycling carbs isn't really, if you don't play football, it shouldn't be a problem. I've talked with the refeeds before. There's actually a link video of refeeds and carb cycling for GEA down below, so that'll give you a bit of a heads up on what I mean by carb cycling.
So protein bars, when to be used, or should they?
Protein bars can be a very good way of getting your protein in. Let's say if I have a box of protein bars in my house and I'm trying to aim for 150 grams of protein, and it's 10 o'clock at night and I need to get 20 grams of protein from somewhere, whip open a box, take a bar of protein, take a protein bar, get in your system, there you go, you've hit your 150 grams of protein. There's no mad benefits to protein bars other than chicken fillets. It's just a more convenient way of getting your protein into your body to hit your protein goal.
There's nothing bad in protein bars at all. That's bad for people.
No, there's nothing in it. Obviously, if you're going to have a chicken breast, there's not going to be as much fat in it, but it's just all about hitting your macros. There might be 7 grams of fat in a protein bar, maybe no grams of fat in the chicken fillet. If you can fit it into your macros, then it shouldn't be a problem.
Alright. Chin-ups, so best way to retrain?
Chin-ups can be, best way to train chin-ups is consistency. Keep doing them, just keep doing them one at a time, you will get better at them. And obviously their good one is the negative pull-ups, where basically you jump up and you hold yourself and lower yourself down negative. It's negative pull-ups, you've probably heard them before. If you haven't, just look them up, they're very, very easy to understand. It's basically where you're hanging from the pull-up bar as a starting position and you're lowering yourself down, and keep doing that over periods of time. Another thing is obviously working your lat pull down, build up your strength using lat pull down machines. Simple.
Yeah, so one of these, that tummy fat, what exercises?
Tummy fat's very simple. Eat less, be in a deficit, find out what your calorie maintenance is. I've talked about this loads of times before, and being in a deficit you will lose fat. If there's one exercise that I could tell, it's probably leg raises.
Okay. What are the best exercises for glutes and explosiveness out of the blocks?
Explosiveness, I think that you need to work on your lower body, you need to work on box jumps. There's different variations of box jumps, from press up, explosive, up to box jump, hip thrust, a very good one, add weight for resistance. Just keep working on your lower body movements and exploding from a low position in a press up to a box jump.
Ideal school lunch for someone trying to limit carbs / get in protein.
I use this every single day for my lunch at work. I always have Greek yogurt and a protein, scoop protein, and I have some almonds. Very, very, very little carbs in that meal. That's just one meal there that I can save for lunch. If you want to save your carbs till later on that night, then just have try to keep it under 50 carbs. For just track your carb intake in your lunch meals, and you'll soon understand.
Muju, your opinion?
Muju, people ask me this a lot. Muju is freaking lovely. And I would only have Muju after football training, like a hard training where you might have burned maybe 400 or 500 calories and you want to replace it, or a football match. I would never drink Muju just on a day of training. There's no benefits. It's high protein, but it's also high carb. I'd rather stick to that more protein milk where it's very low carb. So I would only use it if I'm replacing calories that I'm after losing after a heavy session, usually cardio.
Alright, so this person does a range of sports and they only have 2 days a week to build muscle. Is that long enough?
Yeah, as I said, progressive overloading and eating enough, being a caloric surplus for strength. So 2 days a week I would do is one upper, one lower, progressive overload like fuck, and make sure you're doing a rep range 6 to 8, even 4 to 6 on some of them. Make sure you're eating enough, and also hit each muscle once on the 2 days, and make sure you're progressive overloading. So
tips for a 16-year-old hard gainer, put on weight.
Eat more. Simple. Eat. You're not eating enough.
Simple as. Way to burn fat pretty fast and to lose about a stone in the next month or two.
This isn't ideal because it isn't really that healthy to lose that much weight in such little time. But if you really, really did want, I would usually throw in a cardio nearly every single day and also be in a complete deficit of maybe 400 or 500 calories, and you'll soon see the weight just literally fall off you. But I do want to warn you, it may eat into your muscle, so you may lose some muscle in the process.
What is a progressive overload?
Progressive overloading is whenever you are, let's say, doing 5x5 on the bench and you're doing 80 kg, it's just basically adding weight onto the bar, going up and up and up and up as days go along, as sessions go along, adding weight onto the bar. Progressive overloading really only comes into effect whenever you're bulking or trying to build muscle. It's very hard to progressive overload whenever you're cutting because you don't have enough energy from foods.
Controversial one here. Do you not think Monster will fuck you up if you keep taking them?
I was a feeling Monster was going to come up here. I actually did a video way back on cans of Monster, and I just have to say that I am probably at too much Monster in my system, and I would only take Monster whenever I am cutting because I don't have enough energy to get me through the workouts or even everyday life. People don't understand when they're cutting weight and they're losing weight. I've lost 22 pounds in 8 months, and I've basically been in a deficit every single day since, and it fucks you up mentally. And you've a lot of fatigue. So if a can of Monster is going to give you that kick, obviously, I've spoke this before. There's not really that much in Monster that everyone thinks there is, especially if you go for the zero calories. So that's my take on it, and I will put the link below if you want to see the video I made on cans of Monster.
Right. Would it be harmful for a 16-year-old hurler to take protein on off-season to bulk up?
No, there's nothing harmful about protein. Protein is a source of food. That's like someone saying, is it harmful to eat chicken and eggs while on an off-season? Protein powder is... Next question.
Recommend BCAAs on a bulk.
BCAAs, I take BCAAs every single session. Although I haven't bulked for a long time, BCAAs are basically to prevent muscle breakdown. So they're very important on a cut, or they're important on a bulk, not as much. So if I was bulking, I probably wouldn't take it as much unless I was fasted. So if I got up in the morning 11 o'clock and went to the gym and I had no food in me, I would probably take BCAAs to bulk, but I wouldn't take it otherwise.
Do you take creatine while you cut, and does it add water weight while you want to lose weight?
Okay, obviously you haven't seen the creatine video I done basically previous to this. Creatine is very important when you're cutting, more so whenever you're bulking, because creatine will help you keep hitting the reps and sets and volume for as long as possible as you go deeper into the cut. Watch the video, I'll put the link down below as well, or just go and scroll down to my other videos. And water weight, it will probably add weight on the scales, but it's not body fat. It will make you look stronger, it will pull all the water into your muscles, and you'll probably look better by using creatine.
What age should you start going to the gym at? Or is there a certain age?
I didn't start going to the gym until I was about 17, but if I was 14 and I knew I wanted to do this for the rest of my life, then I definitely would have went. But the most important thing is that at such a young age, you need to get the basics and the form correct. The form is so important, especially when you're growing. There's no difference in a beginner 21-year-old and a 13 or 14-year-old going in the gym. They still need to learn how to form and the basics to do it right, because more so, even more importantly, the younger you are, because as I said, you don't want to damage your bones and your body, especially when you're growing.
How long have you been going to the gym and taking it seriously?
Taking it seriously probably over the last year and a half, maybe. Taking it real serious, taking my diet serious, taking my splits serious. But I went to the gym when I was 17. I'd done a video on this actually before, whenever I talked about how big my chest was, and when I started I had no clue what I was doing at the start, so I'll probably do another video on that. So yeah, took it serious for a year and a half, and it's really only coming to show the effects of how serious I took it now.
So is there a difference between working out in the morning or the evening, or does it matter?
Obviously the more food you're going to have in you, the more energy you're going to feel in the gym. Ideally it's all on the person. Are you a morning person, or do you like workout in the evening? What's more convenient for you? If you can only get a workout done in the morning, it's okay. If you can get a workout done in the evening, it's okay as well. It's basically who you are. I am usually an evening person, because I used to like to have a lot of food in me, and then just have one meal after the gym before I go to bed. But I've worked out many times in the morning and there's no problem.
Last question. This person is looking for skill tips for GAA, how to improve their skills in GAA.
Right, so this isn't talking about nutrition or training. Skills, obviously get the basics right. Depending on what age you are, you've probably done it all your life. Regarding, I don't think kids do this enough, and it's something that is going out of the game. Players' development on their own at a young level. When we were younger, we were all kicking about in the pitch, maybe 15 of us running around playing different games, using our left foot, right foot, kicking the ball up against the wall, left foot, right foot, all that there.
Runs and kicking, practicing in particular.
Yeah, of course, you always have to master them skills, and then skills comes first. Like, in the off season, let's say you're 20, my age 24, the more I focus on keeping my aerobic cardiovascular fitness up in the off season around Christmas time, I always like to do cardio in the off season, so when it comes back around the pre-season, I don't have to focus as much on my cardiovascular fitness. I can then focus on the skills, if that's really answering your question. Skills comes first. If you don't have the skills, then it's very hard to put a lot of effort in to do nutrition and training. I know a lot of footballers who weren't naturally gifted, but they put in so much hard work regarding nutrition and training in the gym and different work, plyometric stuff, and they're still very, very good. But imagine if they had to work on the skills whenever they were younger, they'd be twice the footballer.
Okay, that's it.
So that's all. It answers many questions. I have no idea how long this video is, and I do apologise. I hope I answered every single question that I could. Thank you so much for asking the questions. I just ended up running out during the video. At the very end of it, I'd finished all the questions, but I forgot to say a couple of words at the end. Basically, just want to thank you all again. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to always hit subscribe. Obviously, that's the best way. Not only I can grow, but us as a fucking community. And there's not enough GAA stuff on YouTube, and with your help, I can get as much videos and as much informative ideas out to you and all the viewers. So hit the subscribe, hit the like button, hit the dislike button, hit whatever fucking button you want. I'll see you in the next one. And yeah, Ricey out.